God had kind of put it on my heart that the person, that right woman for me, he would make a light go off.
I was attending Eagle Brook Church, which is my kind of home church, and I attended divorce care there. And we ended up with a really neat group of people, and Jeremy's sister Tina was one of the women in my group. And there was just something really different about my relationship with Tina. It was almost like we both felt like God brought us together, that we were meant to be friends. She began to be somebody that I really trusted and leaned on, and she leaned on me. One night we were at a small group meeting, and we just sat around, the 4 or 5 of us at the small group meeting, talking about kind of what we were looking for in a man. And I was really just kind of telling her my heart for the person that I was hoping to meet someday, somebody that was strong in his faith, somebody that was a good father, good provider. I wanted somebody that, having a foundation of faith, that could kind of be the head of my household, that could lead me and my children and his children if he had any.
The way that in which we actually finally met was my sister had been telling me she had a friend from church that she really, really wanted me to meet.
So finally we found a date that would work in between dropping my kids off at youth group at church, and we kind of scheduled it to meet at Caribou for coffee. So, and I can't remember who showed up first.
You were there first.
Okay.
And you bought coffee, and I couldn't buy you coffee.
Oh. Would you have bought me coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that he spent most of the time we were together talking about himself, talking about his interests and his background, and and I just listened, and I remember thinking, wow, he didn't even really ask me one question, and kind of wondering, it seemed to me that he was a little bit nervous.
I remember when we were sitting there and talking, there was a special light in a sense, and it was just a sparkle in her eye that it caught my attention. And then later on, you told me that I talked a lot and you weren't even sure if you wanted to meet me again. But the fact that I called you to let you know that you had a headlight out,
oh yeah,
kind of made you think something good. I don't really know exactly what.
Yeah, when we left Caribou, it was dark, and he called me right away and said, I just wanted to let you know one of your headlights are burned out. And I remember thinking, so he's already kind of caring about me and worrying. Either that or he just cares about cars a lot. I don't know.
I tend to talk, and I knew that I probably talked more at the initial time, the first time we met. So I specifically called and apologized to Regina that I didn't ask enough questions of her, and so I was calling and wanted to get to know her, so it wasn't just me talking so much. So that's what I really remember.
I think in that phone call we found a lot of our common interests too. We talked about both loving the outdoors and loving to camp, and we talked about where we both wanted to end up living someday, and I mean we talked about a lot of things that you don't remember in that call.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
We would go to church, and I watched her grow in her worship of God and serving of God and wanting to reach out to to people and show them God's love. And that's something that really, really helped me know that she was the right one for me, was that her love and pursuit of God and to help others find them, that just spoke to me and just really hit my heart, because that was something that I was praying for.
So it was kind of neat how it all came together, and that Tina, who will now be my sister-in-law, was such a good close friend and felt like a sister from the beginning.
And I knew another thing that I thought was really amazing about her is just right away she talked about, I had talked about going to Haiti and experiencing Haiti, and she had a heart to do that herself. She'd actually had to cancel a trip to Haiti, so that was a great thing for me, because it showed that she had a heart for God, and she wanted to follow his lead in her life.
We both have a huge heart for service and for serving others, and for going into places where people are really in need, and offering our help. And I found out even before I had met him that Jeremy had been to Haiti a few times, and going to Haiti is something that was really important to me and that I really wanted to do someday, and the timing with being a single mom and just hadn't worked out for me yet. But I did have an opportunity to go last year, and when I got back from Haiti, Jeremy was just such a huge source of support for me, and I just love that we have that connection together now, that we've both experienced that.
She's helped me to become I don't know what the right word would be, but more prim and proper, because I come from a family where we weren't so much. We kind of just, we didn't eat dinner at the table. We weren't always as open with our love for each other, and so she's really brought that into my life, is that I'm more open about my love and caring about others and just showing people respect. Regina came from more of a, like manners were a very big deal, and I wasn't. So that balance that we bring to each other, I can kind of pull her down from that.
In a good way.
In a good way. No, like I think this is a very good thing. Yeah. And she can pull me up. So we're meeting in the middle. As much as we, have our things in common, we also have things that are very different. But that helps to balance each other out, because I think if we were just the same person, nothing would change. We wouldn't be bringing...
We wouldn't grow.
We wouldn't grow. We wouldn't bring different qualities to each other. So I think that that's super awesome.
From where he's come from to where he is now, I didn't know him before he knew God, but from what I know, it's just really an amazing story, an amazing journey for him to get where he is now, and that really warms my heart for him. He's also a great dad. Jeremy's been, I think, a great presence in my kids' lives, and I feel like I've been a good presence in Sophia's life.
Definitely.
I think we both work really hard at developing relationships with each other's kids. We both made it a priority to do that. But over the course of the time, I can honestly say now that I love Sophia as one of my own children, and there isn't anything I wouldn't do for her.
Likewise, the same way with me, is I, obviously care about the kids tremendously, and that just obviously God's a major part of our lives, so we focus in on trying to point the kids towards God and everything, and as they come together, we use Kate and Sophia, but that's just because those two kind of really bonded well, and just we're excited. They're super excited to become sisters, and when they proposed, or when I proposed, I asked the kids first, and I remember, the thing I remember the most was actually all four kids having a smile on their face, because I wanted to ask them before I actually asked Regina, because I wanted them to have an approval of it, and wanting them to know ahead of time, because I didn't want to shell shock them. Yeah, shell shock them.
I just love that he is kind of willing to step into that role and be there for them and be a role model for them.
But I remember specifically Kate and Sophia jumping up and down and saying, "We're gonna be sisters," and that was really, really funny and really.
Did you have to tell them to be quiet so I wouldn't hear?
I did, because you were upstairs and we were in the basement, so they were really excited, and so it's already gone somewhere really, really, really good. Yeah. And I think that the dynamics are, anytime there's blending of families, you're going to have your struggles, but I think that we're on the right path, and I think that, we're already seeing that they love and care about each other, and it's just going to grow and strengthen as the years pass.
I just feel like we're just incredibly blessed to be surrounded by so many people who care about us, and so many people willing to come and share in our day together, to being confidants for us, being there when we, in times that we've struggled or questioned things, or in times when we just needed a friendly ear. I think there's so many people. We're just really grateful to everybody involved, personally in our wedding, to our wedding party, to our family and friends, to the people who are providing services to us for our wedding. We just couldn't be more grateful for
To our pastors.
Yep.
And to God. God has really shown up from the very beginning of our relationship till now. Just in a lot of little weird ways where you just don't know how else to look at it or explain it. It's just helps you to know you're at where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Saying to God that this is the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life. I mean, that part's exciting. It's exciting because of, you know, that step we take with God, but it's also exciting because, you know, I can really see how Regina and I, like our relationship, how it's going to come together, or it has come together and will go in the future, but how it's going to help us with pointing others to God, just the relationship that we have together, and how God will like use our lives to show other people how He can reach in and do the same for them.